Hi everyone, welcome here today for our next Yes Delft Student Startup Podcast, Startup Stories. We are here with Iryna and Marco from the startup Nurtio. At first, before we get started, they'll start to talk to us about what their startup is all about.
Hi, thank you for having us here. It's really fun it's a new experience for us. So yeah, briefly about the company. What we do is we connect plants. We connect plants with the special sensors that we develop, and we do that specifically for the interior gardening industry, and we help them dramatically to optimize their operations and the service they render to their end clients.
Amazing. So keeping plants alive in a very complicated matter. So before we get started on how the company actually began, we'll start with our standard rubric. What do we have to celebrate? So what do we have to celebrate?
So yeah, we got our first batch of pre-production sensors in. So and the thing to celebrate actually is we planted the first one overseas. So we see it's all working and it's connected. Yeah. So.
Near London.
Near London. Well, so that's very far away. So let's start with opening our bottle of champagne.
I will.
So why did you choose London?
Oh, well, for the starters, that's a really nice city to be in, to be doing business in. There's a tremendous market that has welcomed us. We also have a really nice partner in England that helps us with the product improvement, and people are just nice there.
Okay. And it's also easy communicating, of course, when they're
Well, it depends on if you're talking Corona times or not. But
yeah, okay.
Yeah, but overall, that's a really.
Whoa! Well, it sounds amazing. So let's get those glasses filled. I think we're all thirsty. Yep. So no, but what an amazing choice and what amazing growth. Yeah. So how did you guys? Okay, well, just first have the glasses.
Yeah, that's a very important part of our job.
Thank you.
There you go.
So yeah, you guys started many years ago. When did you start?
Well, the company was incorporated in 2018, but that was first couple of years of trial and error, and it actually took us quite some time to find each other and to build the team as it is now.
Yeah, because you originally didn't start out together, right?
No, we did not, but we are together now, and we're happy with how things are.
Yep. So cheers.
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 Well, that's at least a good thing to celebrate. But how did you start out then? Because you started with a different co-founder. Why did you start with him, and how did you end up?
Well, to begin with, that was well, it's not my first company, but it's my first company in the Netherlands. So when the idea was generated, first of all, I was looking for the reliable acceleration program to guide me through doing business in the Netherlands, and this is where I met my first co-founder, because I selected Yes Delft as a platform for future growth, and he was also attempting to get enrolled into the validation and acceleration programs here. So yeah, we just teamed up and started building the product.
So what was your original product?
Well, that was the same product that you see now. It just was meant for a slightly different audience, and well, it looks like it's the same plant sensors, but it makes the world of difference. Who is your target audience?
So what was your original target audience?
We were thinking of making the sensors for the end clients. Like, for example, if you have here at the Yes Delft students some plants and you know how to maintain them, then Nurtio would be able to help you with that. But yeah, well, it's not that like we are rejecting this concept now, but we found much bigger need in the market coming from the professional parties that provide the maintenance, and started with the first launching customer and the second launching customer and the third one, and we realized that it's actually this market segment is begging for the technology that we are building.
So to be specific, what is your market segment right now?
We are developing a solution for the professional maintenance companies that you would hire to take care of the plants at your office.
And then what kind of offices do we think about? Offices like this? Or?
From small to big, from small to even huge, and not necessarily offices. Can be any type of commercial settings, can be HoReCa, can be retail, all we can do.
Okay, so you guys started out with an idea to go to the customer and then realized that you had to go a little bit bigger, find a bigger customer. But that was with your original co-founder. So how did you eventually end up with Marco?
Care to tell?
Yeah. So yeah, actually, I think early last year I was looking for something new in my like a new job. So I was actually installing like a green wall inside my house, just like as a pet project. And then I ran across on LinkedIn. I ran across Nurtio, so I kind of responded. So let's see how that happens. Uploaded my CV, and then eventually Iryna contacted me. So we got talking, and she was looking also for a new partner. I was looking for something new. But that was just before I think COVID hit, so then it kind of the conversation. Well, we kept talking, but I was like, okay, let me at least wait a couple of months to see where this is going. But then for me, it felt like, okay, this is really the step I wanna be taking. Now it felt right. So
to become a co-founder.
Yeah, to become like a co-owner of the company, and yeah.
So you were specifically looking for a new co-owner, or?
Well, I was considering several options. That could have been someone just to join as a hire, or potentially a business partner. But it just took a click, because sometimes you talk to the person and you see that you want to see them more than just someone filling in a vacant position, and you want to go with them for years and build something that we're building. Because products like that, you cannot just build them in a couple of months. That's a long journey to name the certifications, to name the global deployment, and our backlog is like miles long, and our ambitions are also quite big, because where we're starting now is just our beachhead market, and we already have some other commercial concepts in agenda, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but certainly in the future. So to make all that happen, you really need to have a reliable team to work with. And it's not just Marco, because we also have Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis is our software genius, and he's currently designing our software. We have Kenneth. Kenneth is our commercial partner in the UK. But a few more words about Kenneth. He's actually been in the industry for over 40 years. He's a very, very well-known professional, and his experience in what we're doing is just priceless. And we're really happy. We're really happy to have people like that on board. And now.
Yeah, of course, the team is what matters. So you said that Dennis was your software developer.
Is
your software developer. So what kind of software are we talking about? Is there an application, or is the software in the device?
Yeah, so there's obviously some software in the device, but the main part of our software is actually the backend where we collect all the data. So this is just like a software platform, and from there we send it to our apps and to a web application that you can access just through your browser. So that's actually what we're making now.
So what kind of information can I find in that application, for example, the device that we have in our office?
Yeah, so this thing that measures the amount of light you get, it measures the humidity of the soil, so you can see if your plant needs water or not. Temperature, so it's not too cold for your plant or not too hot. And salinity, so that's the amount of what's the English word for it?
Fertilizer.
The amount of fertilizer, if there's enough fertilizer still in there.
So does it also give me action points, like, oh my god, you need to give your plants water right now, or then something might go wrong?
Yeah, so that's what we're working towards. So you can see when it needs water, so then you can water it. And obviously we want to also be able to advise, okay, this is how much water you should apply to your plant so that it stays healthy.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
My plants always die either because I give them too much water or not enough.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Actually, most plants actually die of overwatering. So
because people get too enthusiastic.
They care too much for their plants. So that's.
But does it work, like if I have one of those devices in an entire room full of plants, is that enough, or do I need one for every different type of plants that you've got?
Yeah, you'd actually you need one for every plant. So what we do is we match the sensor with the plant, so we can also see so we have a database of all the plants that exist basically, and what their water needs are, what their light needs are, so we can see, okay, is this does this plant is it in does it have the right conditions? So in sense of light, in sense of temperature.
So whether it would even be possible for the plant to stay alive in those kind of conditions.
And the amount of water as well. So some plants need to be a bit more dry than others. So that's really plant specific. And
okay.
And then one more fun fact. Let's say you have two absolutely identical plants. Let's say two dracaenas, and one on your windowsill and one in some darkish corner. Their needs would be different. They will be drinking water differently because the plant that is exposed to more light tends to drink more. There's also evaporation. So yeah, that's why we aim at a sensor per plant. But we work really hard to make these sensors affordable enough to justify a sensor in every plant.
Yeah, because if you have a lot of plants and you need one sensor for every one of them, it's going to be quite expensive.
Unless the unit cost is really low, and that's what we are working for.
So in the future, every office that has plants in them is gonna have one of the Nurtio sensors.
Yeah, well it might sound quite impudent, but we actually aim at making this a new industry standard for the office gardening, for the Horeca gardening. Because it does not just save the plants, it saves the effort of people maintaining them, and you'd be surprised how much is that the companies are spending on excess commuting, on actually guesswork, and
so for companies there is also a way of saving money by having one of the Nurtio sensors.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, then it's win-win situation, right? So what is the competition like in your market?
Well, that's a really complicated market, and might not seem like that from this side, but when you dive in, you just start understanding. Because first of all, there are different growing mediums. In some countries, interior-scaping companies tend to use the soil, just the normal soil plants that you might also have at home. Some use the volcaponic, which is the volcanic origin substrate. Some use the hydroculture, so that's the variety right there. There's also different sizes of the plant, which you also need to cater to, and different connectivity standards, because for example, if you use that at home, you might be fine with the Bluetooth or even Wi-Fi plus Bluetooth version, but if you're at the office, this is not going to work. So there needs to be a proper IoT standard that would provide at least 100-meter radius to have all the large office space covered. So to be honest, we have not found any product that would cater to all the variety of the plants and have the right connectivity choice, so we just decided to create one.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit of explanation, like within each building we also have like a separate gateway which just connects over 4G to our backend where we collect the data, and all the sensors are connected to that gateway. So that's how the connectivity works. So.
And then the general gateway is then connected to the Wi-Fi area, and then with that your phone.
Yeah.
So is Wi-Fi the best way to go, or is Bluetooth the best way to go?
In the corporate settings, neither. Yes, because Wi-Fi is not. Well, first of all, if you operate in the commercial settings, you cannot rely on the Wi-Fi that they have there, because you might be dealing with the banks, you might be dealing with governmental agencies, and that's. There are some restrictions in regards of having access to their network. So it needs to be autonomous, and it needs to be wide range, and it needs to be energy saving, because you also don't want to replace the batteries in your sensors every couple of months. So yeah, that's why we came to the choice of the connectivity, which we call -7. Sounds like something alien, but yeah, that's basically similar to LoRaWAN protocol, which the specialists might recognize.
Okay, so the goal eventually is to get one of these sensors in all the plants in every company in at least the Netherlands, but eventually the world, right? Yes.
well,
So, as a company, where then would I buy the product? Would it eventually be that you sell it directly to the company? Would I go to my gardening center in the local area?
Well, for now we're working with the interior-scaping companies, and they use this technology to optimize their work. So you, as an end customer, you don't even need to buy that. That's their working tool to make their operational part efficient, and therefore the service to you as an end customer better, more transparent, and less costly. So you might be benefiting from reduced costs, and they would be benefiting from improved operations.
So how the interior landscapers usually work is a lot of offices, they contact an interior landscaping company where they either buy a plant and they have a maintenance contract, or they lease the plants for, like, say, 3 years. And that interior landscaping company then will come to you, your office, like once every 2 to 4 weeks to take care of your plants. So that's how it works.
So your customer would be that interior landscaping company.
Yeah, so they can remotely monitor the plants they are taking care for, and then actually adjust their operations for the real needs of the plants in the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, but basically you'll receive those plans already with the sensors. Well, if we accomplish all our ambitious goals, but you can also benefit from, you can just scan any plant with your phone and see the full history of maintenance, how the plant has been doing. And if you have a specific service request, for example, to your gardening company, for example, I really like this plant, I want more of those, or I absolutely don't like it, can you replace it with something else? You can just click. And,
so the customer can also directly use the application to see how their plants are doing, even though they are not the ones taking care of it.
Yeah, and send the request about a specific plant right to their gardener's back office, and it will be.
So it's also really fun to have one of your sensors in the office.
Yeah, it's like Tamagotchi.
Yeah, that's really cool. So now we have to ask a serious question, a not so fun question. Of course, we're in Corona times, and a lot of startups, a lot of entrepreneurs are affected by Corona. So how is Nurtio affected by Corona?
Both in positive and negative way, because there are always two sides of the medal. First of all, we were really lucky because just a week before the pandemic started and the Netherlands went into sort of lockdown, or what we thought was lockdown back then, we raised a round of proof of concept funding. And that was a lifeline, because first couple of months the funding market was volatile and nobody knew what to expect. So those startups that had really short runway, they were really in a big stress, because tomorrow would mean the end for them. And as for us, we just had more time to concentrate on the product development and do that comfortably now when we were funded. The negative part, though, it definitely does not make it easier nowadays when we cannot travel abroad. And we have launching customers in many countries. We named the United Kingdom, but there's also Sweden, there's also France, there's also a couple of more, which we're even afraid to talk to, because we just cannot even go there to do the demonstration. And for a product like that, demonstration over Zoom is possible, but let's just say not optimal.
Yeah.
So for us, it's a lot of trouble to keep going in our sales and business development, regardless of the inability to travel. But there's nothing impossible, because we were just discussing that earlier, and that's the true nature of startups, to be adaptive and to be agile.
Yeah, to be entrepreneurial.
So while larger corporations might struggling to adapt, we're just like, okay, new plan.
On the other side, like, it's been really easy to talk to customers overseas as well, just because of it. Because, like, after a couple of months, everyone was actually used to meeting over Zoom. And normally, I think you would usually have a salesperson or a contact person traveling around. But now,
so now you can have meetings with Sweden, Switzerland, and Spain all in the same day.
Yeah. And normally, people would not be so open to meet over Zoom, I think, and people opened up a lot more to that. So
there is
in a sense, it's been helpful as well.
Yeah, they also, our customers realize now in the Corona times, because depending on the country, there were restrictions to visit their service sites. and they still try to get in without really knowing what's going on with the plants. And they realized that if there was a technology that would allow them to see the plants remotely, maybe some visits would not be even necessary. So it's actually a natural lead into what our product does, and a live picture of why would you actually need it.
Yeah, so actually we are not allowed to go into the office, so having someone tell you that you have to go into the office is a good extra. Yeah.
Yep.
So on one side it was positive, but so did the sales actually went up?
Well, we because we during the Corona times we met a lot of amazing people. Some of them have become or will become our launching customers. Some of them have become or will become our commercial agents for the respective regions, and now we have 21 launching customer. We're still not sure if we're gonna launch 21 pilot project, because that would be a bit of a stretch. But for us, that's a definite confirmation of the interest of the market, and serious traction that practically any startup could only dream about, especially given the Corona times.
So actually we have another thing to celebrate as well. Oh, great. And how is your team affected? Because everybody is now working from home and having to commute. Do you feel that your team is affected by that?
Yeah, yeah. Well, in a sense, I think we work pretty well, like just meeting over Zoom and doing our thing. Like I have a young family, so for me it's sometimes hard to focus at home. So I have my own office here oftentimes, but yeah.
Yeah, and then when we have the daily stand-up meetings, like any tech startup that works on Agile, we just sometimes find ourselves chatting about random stuff, because we don't get this office chat anymore. So it's like cat news, kids news, village news, or whatever news we can come up with, because work-wise the efficiency has not decreased, but well, personally, I feel just a little bit of deficit of communications with colleagues. Just a random chat.
Yeah.
It's actually today has been the first day in maybe 2 or 3 months that we got all together in the office.
Yeah, that's not very productive if you can't see each other. It doesn't help.
It is productive. It's just you're missing them. That's all.
Understandable. I think everybody at home also is feeling that you're missing the people around you, and it's not very good for our moods. So, well, I think we've got a great picture about how your startup is doing and everything that you guys are doing for the amazing plans in every office. So every time we do this podcast, we also put a small dilemma to our audience. So it's also been on Instagram today. After the podcast, we will check what the results are. But we also put the question to you guys. Would you dare to get a more maintenance plant at home then, and in this office, but at home when you're here, when you have a smart virtual guardian for your plant?
Absolutely.
I'd be sure.
Absolutely, and we're doing what we're doing not just because it's our job, but I think it would be right to say that all of us in the team, we actually love plants, and we have quite some plantations at our homes. And now when you can use the technology to better understand your plants, you can go a little farther. You can go, you can parent something that is much higher maintenance than before, because using this tech, you can precisely understand what the plant is needing and how you can
So you have a sensor in your plants at home as well?
Yeah.
In all of them?
In most of them for me, yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I have a few. Yeah.
So who has the most plants in the team?
I think you.
Yeah, probably.
How many do you have?
A lot.
You don't even know how many. But they're all doing amazing, I expect.
Trying to do. Yeah.
So what is your favorite plant?
Well, I have that's a new child in the family. I got myself a nice podocarpus for my living room. That's a pine-like looking plant. It's not difficult per se, but it sometimes it's really hard to get the watering right for it, because too dry is bad, too wet is also bad. So yeah, basically I'm monitoring my podocarpus. His name is Jared, by the way.
Jared.
Yeah, our software, we introduced the option to give the nicknames to the plants. You can choose something like this green thing in the corner next to the reception, or you can give an actual human name. And we once piloted with one company, and they've spent half of the day actually making up the human names to their plants.
So everybody in the company gets to choose a name for their plants.
Yeah. And then they realized they had more people than plants on this floor, so they said, okay, so who's a better performer in their job gets to have a plant in their name, and that was really fun to watch. So yeah, all my plants with sensors at home, they have names.
So what's the craziest name you have seen, your own plants or from somebody else?
Well, I can judge about my names because I don't see the location of Marco, but I have a name, plant named Bill.
Bill.
might not be crazy, but yeah, trust me, I tried to kill Bill many times. He's still alive.
So it's a very healthy plant called Bill.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here today. Normally, we always ask our startups to bring a sticker or a gadget. Well, today, Nurtio brought one of their sensors, which is already in a plant right behind them. So we can also keep our plants alive in this office. Thank you so much, and hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you for having us. It was fun.
Thank you.